What distinguishes good and evil?
Well, first I think before you can distinguish, you have to explain what you think is good and what do you think is evil.
I think it's a matter of opinion. I think it depends on the person. There's no fine line for good and evil.
I think good and evil is distinguished by the actions of a person over a long period of time. However, you can't just judge them by like one action that they do at one time. It's like over like a long period of given events.
How long a period would you say that is?
I don't know.
I think what he's trying to say is everybody makes mistakes, but when does it stop becoming mistakes and start becoming pure acts?
Yeah.
I would agree with that statement.
I agree with Matt because like you can be good at something or like be doing good things, but then like something else could make you be considered like evil.
You have your strokes.
It's like if you're on a diet for a month and you eat McDonald's one day, but you continue to diet for another month. You never really quit dieting. You just kind of broke the rules. Anybody else feel that?
I feel you. What is your opinion on this, Bree?
I think it depends on whose perspective you're looking at, because something that's good for me can be bad for someone else if I do that thing.
I'd like to bring up a point off of that. I put down for evidence that the Nazis, for example, I don't think they followed Hitler because now we look at his ideas as bad and evil. I think they looked at him as a good person, and they were all a little off, you know, with their assumption there.
I see what you're saying there.
All right. What is the friendship?
How does that relate to Frankenstein? The whole conversation you just had, how does it relate to Frankenstein?
The monster and Frankenstein. Or not Frankenstein, I was going to call him Victor. Because he created the monster, but then the monster made acts of evil, but he was also brought up by himself, so when does it become the master's fault?
Do you think the monster was good or evil?
I think he was misguided by anger.
I think he was really good, but like he said, he was misguided because Victor didn't like step up and teach him what was good and what was evil.
He had good intentions, but he made mistakes.
I feel like if he had lived longer and matured and seen himself, like he would have hated himself for what he was, but he would have changed to be a better person.
Do you guys think the monster would have turned good if Victor would have finished making the girl, whatever creation?
Probably. I think he would have been content or more content.
Maybe.
Especially if they got along well.
Yeah, maybe he would just like go off and kind of like they'd live in their own world.
Like right off to the sunset.
I think he was kind of starting to change because like when Victor dies in the end, he was sympathetic towards him and stuff.
Monica, what is your opinion on this?
What distinguishes good and evil?
Well, like, do you think the monster was good or evil?
The monster was good. His intentions were good, but they were not perceived as good.
Alright.
What if the friendship is a deconstructive relationship?
Well, first, I think we need to configure what that means.
So, like, what if the friendship was a bad one?
Ooh, a bad friendship.
It did more destruction than
like a destructive relationship is something like it's like beneficial. I feel like deconstructive would be like
negative.
A negative relationship.
Yeah.
Do
So
you guys think the monster and Victor had a deconstructive relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
Mainly because Victor didn't take the responsibility.
We didn't get Aaron's.
Oh, sorry, Aaron.
Yeah, I agree.
Take care now.
Mainly because I don't think Victor took the responsibility of raising him, so it turned into like a deconstructive relationship.
Would we all agree that saying that the monster was Victor's responsibility because he created him? Would we all agree on that?
Yeah.
All right.
And I think that if you're in a deconstructive relationship, then you should probably just get out of it because it's obviously having like a negative effect in your life. And like people are in friendships or relationships where they argue all the time and they don't get along, and I don't think they should even be in a relationship.
So would you say that no friendship is better than a deconstructive friendship?
Yeah. Depending on the person that it's with, yeah.
Is that
what
what
is your
happened?
opinion on this, Bree?
Is that what happened in Victor and the monster's relationship or situation?
I think at the end of that relationship, it became kind of like Tom and Jerry in a way. Like the monster kind of like toyed with them as they went further and further north.
But he cared about him all along.
Yeah, but like when he died, the monster came back and he didn't really like know what to do. Like he just kind of came and examined the body and was kind of like, oh, he's dead. I can't have him chase me anymore. Yeah.
Bree, do you think that a no friendship is better than a deconstructive friendship?
I think it depends on how bad the relationship is.
I think that the monster and Victor were like considered more like parent and child than friends.
Why do you think that? Elaborate.
Well, because he created him and like our parents created us, so therefore like we're friends with them sometimes, but then like we get mad at them or whatever. So I feel like that's kind of how it was.
So you would consider the monster a rebellious then, would you say? And is basically what you're saying?
Yes.
All right. Do we all agree on that? All right.
What about you, Christian?
What do you think?
What was your rebellion about? You didn't have anybody to rebel against. You didn't
All
even
right,
have a figure to rebel against.
Okay, let's say your parents had you and they just left you. Would you be a little upset?
Well, yeah. That's
All
not
right.
really rebellion. No. It's
All right.
not having a parent figure.
Well, he's rebelling when he goes and kills the people that are close to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Close to
I
Victor.
mean,
I suppose.
What if every town you went into, everybody, was really rude to you and stuff? That'd be something to rebel against. I'd get upset. Monica, what do you think on this?
Can you elaborate again?
What's that?
Can you elaborate the point again?
What was I saying?
We're talking about the monster having somebody.
Oh, do you think the monster is rebelling? Like as a teenager? And can he justify his actions?
In his own way, yes, he is rebelling. Of course, if he was pushed off the side, of course he would rebel. He's like a teenager. As you grow older and older, sometimes you rebel, but eventually you come back together.
All right.
I also think like he could have made friends if the townspeople or whatever would have maybe given him a chance. Like,
Yeah, the town people seem really douchey.
I think he had a good chance with that guy. In the
yeah, the
woods.
blind guy.
They kind of messed it up. Yeah, he probably should have waited for them to leave a little bit longer.
Yeah.
That would be kind of an interesting twist.
Yeah.
I think we're ready for the next question.
All right.
As creations, how are we interdependent with our Creator?
Well, I feel like there's an emotional bond between both of them because, like, you care for something you create, like it's important to you. Like, you get what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm. Like parent and a child.
Yeah. Or like, yeah. What is your opinion on this statement? Or what is your opinion as creators? How are we interdependent with our Creator?
Well, I agree that we have like an emotional bond, but I think we're also interdependent because like they provide for us, like the creators provide for the creations until they can do it on their own.
But would you say that the monster and Victor have a very good interdependent, someone help me out, I'm trying toward this.
Do they depend on each other?
Yeah, do they depend on each other?
In some ways, I think they do.
Matt, what is your opinion? Do you think that the monster and Victor depend on each other?
I think that they do, but in other ways, no, because the monster proved that he could be like an independent person by like going off and living in the wild for like 2 years, and
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
he did it successfully. So, but I also think that they have like an emotional dependence on each other at the same time as creator and creation.
Yeah, I agree with that because, like we've said before, in the end he does come back and he is sad when he dies.
I wonder if, the monster was dependent on his creator to create another creation for him, but he didn't. I wonder if that affected their interdependent relationship as much.
I don't think like the book was long enough for that to affect anything, because I mean after that they both pretty much died.
Yeah, yeah, it kind of went downhill. We were ready for the next question.
All right. When does responsibility become a problem?
I think it becomes a problem when there's too much of it for someone to handle. Obviously, like you shouldn't go over your head in anything. For example, like when a teenager has a kid, oftentimes a teenager isn't prepared for a kid, and that's a responsibility that you can't handle because of money and time and stuff like that.
Do you guys think that Victor was ready to have and sense a kid as the monster? Do you think Victor, it didn't seem like Victor was ready in life to have one?
No. Like he was foolish with making his creation. Like he obviously knew what it was going to look like before he brought it to life.
He just wasn't prepared for it.
I think he thought he was like setting himself up for failure, like it wasn't gonna work, and then when it did work, it freaked him out when he like sat up or whatever, and he was actually alive.
I would agree with that.
He probably should have thought before he acted more.
Christian, what do you think about that?
Well, it's a little bit different from just a parent and like an infant child. He basically gave birth to a 8-foot man child, so he had a little bit more to deal with than just.
Yeah, but he created the problem.
Yeah, he did.
Did Frankenstein poop?
I'm sure he did. I'm sure there was a biological process there.
Question was that.
That's a good question. We could discuss that.
It's like the zombies in The Walking Dead.
I don't know. It'll be a big diaper.
Is that your modern day connection?
Yeah. Alright, so maybe that's a possibility of a problem.
I connected it to like pollution, because everybody just kept polluting and like nobody wanted to take responsibility for it. They're kind of hoping to go away, like the monster, you know. He left it there for like 2 days, and then it kind of started to become a problem. So then we started to have to deal with it, but he still just kind of ran away from his problem and made it even worse.
Yeah, I think
It was 2 years, not 2 days.
What?
You said 2 days.
2 years. Now.
Crooms, what'd you say?
I said Victor tried running away from it, but then it really became a problem to him when he started killing people close to him.
Yeah.
And yeah, he waited till it was too late to act on it. So it's a problem, a huge problem for him.
Do you
And
guys?
then-
Oh, sorry.
What life lessons did you learn from that?
Face your problems when they come.
You shouldn't get in your head, like in over your head in anything you do.
Be
Don't
responsible.
Don't let your problems overcome you, like they did. Yeah.
I think
Being prepared probably would have helped.
Mm-hmm. And do you think there would have been as big of a problem if Victor would have finished his responsibility to create the other monster? Do you think the problem would have been as big?
It either could have like gotten rid of the problem, or it could have made it twice as worse.
Because remember what he thought of it. He thought like if he created the second spouse for him, he didn't want them to start having kids and like create this new species of like demon child. So I mean that could have caused a pretty big problem if that had happened.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they both like would have started killing people, it would have been twice as many people that would have been dead. But
For a doctor, he didn't seem very smart. Like he didn't really think things through to the end. It seemed like to me when I was reading this book.
I mean he was smart.
He seemed like he was a lot of book smart, but it didn't seem like he had very much common sense. Like he didn't think all the way to the end of the problem. He just thought of the immediate situation.
Well, and what does that relate to?
Justice.
Justice. Related.